Right, welcome to today's live stream on quadratic equations. And to start off with, we've got a few tricky ones where you've got to factorize them. Okay, we've been practicing in previous streams factorizing quadratics, and my maths thinks at level 6 and 7 you should be able to factorize this one. I'm only going to give you a minute to do it, which some may struggle to do. Don't worry about that. It just means you've got to practice more factorizations. Have a go at it for a minute and see where you get to, and then I'll go through it. Okay, so where to start? Well, the best place to start is just to try something. And 49 and 16, when I was looking at this, I went for the most obvious factors. So I went for minus 7x and 7x, and I went for minus 4 and 4, because I want a plus 56, so I want a positive. So I thought I'll put a minus 4 over here and a plus 4 over here to get my answers, and therefore I've got 4 times 7x is 28x, minus 7x times minus 4 is another 28x, which gives me my 56x. So therefore minus 7x plus 4 equals 0, or 7x minus 4 equals 0. And this implies that x will equal, take 4 to the other side, minus 4 over minus 7. And this implies take 4 over to the other side, so I get that, and then I get 4/7. And you realise these are exactly the same. This is just 4/7 too. So therefore, there's only one solution. Okay, so there's one solution to this answer, because both of these are identical. All right, here we go. Another one. 60 seconds to have a go at this. Right, here we go. Let's go through this one. And we start off minus 54 and 56. Again, I'm just going to pick two that make sense. I'm going to go for minus 6x, in my pen, and 9x. And then try 8 and 7. Let me just think. I'm going to put the 7 over, let's try putting the 7 over here and the plus 8 over here and see what we get. And you get 8 times 9, that's going to be 72. And minus 6 times 7 is going to be 42, so that's not going to work. Let's try the other way around. You see, if something doesn't work, try it the other way around. So we get 7 and we get 8. 7 times 9 is 63. 6 times 8 is 48. And we can see we've got a difference of 15. So that works, giving that the minus 48, because you've got minus 6x times 8. So now we've got it factorized, we can go ahead and solve. So we get minus 6x plus 7 equals 0, or 9x plus 8 equals 0. So we get minus 6x equals minus 7. Therefore, x will equal minus 7 divided by minus 6 is 7, 6. And over here we get 9x equals minus 8. So x equals minus 8 over 9. So we have two solutions to this question. Well, we'll just have one more for a bit more practice, and I'll leave you the last one to do in your own time. So here's our next one. A bit easier than the other two. It's 60 seconds to do this one. Right, hopefully you spotted this one as a difference of two squares problem. So if you've got square number take away another square number, then all you do is you square root them. So you get 5x, the square root of 25x squared, and a 5x here. And then we get a minus 2 as the square root of 4, and a plus 2 here. So 5x equals 2, or 5x equals minus 2. And therefore x equals 2 fifths, or x equals minus 2 fifths. So again, we have two solutions to this problem. And I've got one more for you to have a go at later. So let's move on and practice on completing the square. Again, once you've got the habit, you should be able to knock this off in 60 seconds. So let's give it to you in 60 seconds. Okay, so complete the square. The easiest way is just to start off by halving this number. You put the x here, halve that number, put it there, and then write squared. And then I think the easiest thing to do is automatically take away 9 squared. If you always do that, you always get the right answer. Then add on the 17. And this is just a foolproof way to just complete the square. So we've got x plus 9 all squared. Minus 81 plus 17, 71, take off 7 is going to be 64, so you get minus 60. Silly, because it's going to be a nice easy one. We get x plus 9 squared equals 64, adding 64 to both sides, then square root, and we get plus or minus 64. remember, anything squared, if you have 2 squared, that gives you 4, minus 2 squared, all equal 4. So when you undo it, you've got to remember the plus minus. And that's going to be 8. So we get, and take away 9, so you get minus 9 plus or minus 8. Minus 9 plus 8 is minus 1. Minus 9 minus 8 is minus 17. So x can equal either of those two answers. Right, have a go at this one. Another 60 seconds. Right, let's see. This one should be just easy to do. So halve this number, x minus 6 all squared. Square the 6, take off 36, add 6, that 0. And this one's more in keeping with completing the square. The last one was more like a factorizing one. So we get minus 30 equals 0. So add the 30 to both sides. I get 30. Square root both sides. I get plus or minus the square root of 30, which can't be square rooted. And so therefore I get x equals 6 plus or minus the square root of 30 when I add 6 to both sides. We could try and look to simplify the 30, but 30 is equal to 5 times 6, which gives me 5 times 3 times 2. There's no square numbers as factors of 30, so therefore we can't cancel that down. So that's our best answer. Right, moving on to quadratic formula, just to make sure you can use this. I'm only going to do one example. I'm going to leave the rest for you to, well, actually, I won't do this easiest one. Let's just jump to this one first and have a go at that and see if you can remember what to do with the quadratic formula. I'll give you 2 minutes because it takes a little while just to put it all in the same place. Okay, so the first thing to do is get everything onto the same side. So let's take 4x away from both sides. You get 4x squared minus 13x equals 0. And if you want to use the quadratic formula is x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So in this case, we've got a equal to 4 because in the question you should have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So a is how many lots of x squared. The b is how many lots of x. So we've got minus 13. And c, well, we haven't got a c here. So c will equal 0. So therefore x will equal minus b, which is going to be 13, plus or minus b squared, which is going to be 169, minus 4 times a times c. So because it's b is a minus and a is a plus, we're going to get a minus times a plus, a minus of a plus times a plus times a minus, which will give me a plus because there's two negatives in there. So I've got 4 times 13 all over 2a, and that's just, I made a mistake there. Put c in as 13. So actually what I'm going to get here is I'm going to get 4 times 0, and it's going to be a minus there. Not that it's going to make any difference because anything times by 0 is 0. So and all over 2a, which is 2 times 4 on the bottom. So using the quadratic formula, you get 13 plus or minus the square root of 169 all over 8. So square root of 169 is 13, so I can have either 13 plus 13, which is 26 over 8, or I can have 13 minus 13, which is 0 over 8, which is 0. And 26 over 8, which will give me 13 over 4, and cancel down. Now, a much better way to do this is to factorize it. You can take x out as a factor, and then you get 4x minus 13 equals 0. That means x equals 0, or 4x minus 13 equals 0. So you get 13 over 4. Excellent. So there's your two answers. There's 3 of us to try with the quadratic formula. Remember, get everything on the same side and make it equal to 0, and then put your numbers in. Right, here's a quadratic problem for you to finish off with in this stream. After this stream, I'll move up to level 8-9, which gives you the same topic but harder problems. Right, here we go. So let's look at this problem. You've got x is this distance, x is this distance here, and we've got 6 all the way across here. So this distance here is going to be 6 minus 2x. You're going to take off an x there and take off an x there. And as it's a square, that's also going to be 6 minus 2x. So the middle part here, we want to show the surface area of the inside of the box. Well, we're going to get the middle part is going to be 6 minus 2x times 6 minus 2x. And then we've also got a 6 minus 2x times by an x when you do that, and you've got 4 lots of that. Well, let's just work out this central square bit. Actually, I'm just thinking that's a hard way of doing it. That's one way of doing it. Let's just look at a much easier way of doing it. I'm being a bit dozy. We know that the whole grey area in the background is 6 times 6. Okay? And we know that's going to be x squared, that's going to be x squared, that's going to be x squared, and that's going to be x squared. So we get minus 4x squared. So we get 36 minus x squared. So the area, when they give you that form, don't get put off because you've got a negative. Just put it in. A could be a negative. So you've got 36 minus 4x squared is the area, because we've taken all of that big square and then just taken off the 4 corners. Now we know that the surface area that maximizes the volume is going to be 20. So we know that's going to equal 20. So if we want to make that as an equation equal to 0, take 20 off both sides, we get 16 minus 4x squared equals 0. So we've got 16 minus 4x squared equals 0. And we can factorize this one. Now it's a difference of 2 squares. You've got something squared minus something squared. So factorize, you get 4 as the square root of 16. Put that there and there. And then we've got minus 2x plus 2x. Now this is not the normally you'd expect to see it looking like this. And you'd think 2x minus 4 and 2x plus 4. Okay, but it works just the same way when you've got it in the opposite order. So you should get some answers coming up on the screen. So you should get 4 minus 2x equals 0, or 4 plus 2x equals 0. So this one will give me minus, let's change it around, so I'm going to rub that out. Make it simpler. Minus signs, 4 equals 2x. And over here you get 2x equals minus 4. So therefore we're going to get 2 is equal to x, or x is equal to minus 2. Now obviously x as a length can't be minus 2, so the answer must be 2. There's only one answer to this question, okay, contrary to popular belief in the chat. So that's the end of the level 6-7. I'm just going to give myself a 2-minute break to set up the next stream, and we're back here with the 8 to 9 stream starting at 4:30.